Here we have a wasp getting nectar from this pitcher plant. And this is how that pitcher plant sort of get these wasps to fall in. The wasps get the nectar and then they get drunk off of it. And then they lose their footing and they fall into these plants. This is known as a pitfall mechanism. And down in the very bottom of this leaf, or pitcher, it's a evolved leaf, are digestive enzymes that break down the prey. So this little wasp is playing with fire here and it doesn't even know it. And so what it's doing now is it's drinking some more nectar. And so this is where things get a little interesting, and there is a potential that it could fall in. Here we have it from the other side. See how it's drinking that nectar? Unbeknownst to it, it is starting to get inebriated and very easily could lose its footing and fall in. There's little tiny hairs on the underside of that lid that you don't see either that help break up the surface area of the insect's feet, if you will, their ability to hold on, which is also an evolutionary advantage that the plant has introduced to help these unknowing prey lose their footing. Here it is going after another one, getting dangerously close to that lip. Back to the hood. Will it fall in? You can see it bouncing from leaf to leaf or pitcher to pitcher, getting all the nectar it can get. What's interesting about these plants, there are a ton of different type of carnivorous plants, and they all evolved differently through a process called convergent evolution. And they evolved for about 200 to 160 million years ago, depending on who you ask. There's seeds as old as 200 million. See, this one's playing a dangerous game, barely holding on. And it all started, they think, because insects have a compound in them called chitin, which is what makes up their exoskeleton. And most plants, carnivorous plants, have chitin, which helps break down fungus. That was the original purpose. But as these plants grew in nutrient poor soils, they one day somehow stopped using it for fungus and started realizing that chitin could be used to break down chitin that is found in the exoskeletons. And from there's a lot of theories that maybe one of the leaves was sort of turned in concave, and as a result the plant was like, hey, there's nutrients in here that can be broken down. And that is how they became carnivorous. Now, you would think all of these would be related, but most are not related at all. And the ones that are very, very, very distantly related. So Venus flytrap and a, believe it or not, sundews are related, albeit distant. Most of them developed on their own, which is interesting. And there's the thought that all plants possess, or most plants possess, the ability to become carnivorous if needed. And what is interesting is they all have different mechanisms for their carnivory. Some rely on relationship for their carnivory. For instance, like a purpurea will need amoeba in their water to help break down their prey. Others have developed digestive enzymes. And so there's all these different mechanisms for how they develop that. And some of these carnivorous plants, they have found at some point along their line developed a secondary duplicate DNA strand. And over time, these plants have given up all of their vegetativeness, if you will, and have gone strictly to carnivory. And what I mean by that is they've lost the literal genetics to be able to get nutrients fertilizer other than through insects. That is pretty amazing. And some of them have even gone past invertebrates. It's losing its footing. Some of them have even gone past invertebrates all the way to fish and lizards, and even as far as monkeys in the case of Nepenthes raja. You'll notice that the wasp is getting very, very loose-footed, and that is because this wasp is becoming inebriated. And it will continue to engorge itself, and if the plant is lucky and patient enough, the wasp will fall in and the plant will be rewarded. Now, something to note about the leucophylla is you'll see those white windows on there. Those windows are actually meant to confuse the insect, and so also to reflect the moonlight. And so this is the first round of pictures for leucophylla. Their second round of pictures will actually be, let me get the camera to free focus. Their second round of pictures will actually be in the fall, and they'll be bigger and brighter. And that is because of the harvest moon. But a lot of these carnivorous plants have these false windows that help them. Looks like the wasp won this time. But to finish off, they'll have these windows to help fool the insects into moving down, where there are downward hairs in the tube, if you will, that pushes them down to a digestive fluid that is viscous and will not allow the insect to escape. Pretty awesome. Hope you enjoyed that.